Mr. Chairman, I would like to add a point to the agenda. I would like to add a resolution for temporary motion to restrict the construction of commercial and industrial properties so we can do some design standards. Okay. And our attorney has a copy of the resolution.
Can we do that?
It's entirely up to you. You know, you certainly have the right to add a moratorium to the agenda if that's what the board wishes to do. I just got the document and I might have a couple of comments about it if y'all want.
But I was approached yesterday about a moratorium, and so I just drafted language. We can add it today or not, but there was some discussion about design standards for construction of residential. Commercial and industrial properties. So,
and this came about because of the discussion with Dollar General,
right,
and their design standards that they currently on the books, which are they loose design standards right there. So we want to tighten that up a little bit, so we won't have that discussion next time.
That is correct.
Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand.
This is just to put it on the agenda.
Put it on the agenda.
I don't mind putting it on the agenda. I don't know about
We will add the resolution to the agenda, moving it to new business under 2. Everything will just move down from there on the agenda.
As you well know, the comprehensive plan is a requirement of the state of Georgia for all local governments. Our comprehensive plan for Morgan County, City of Madison, City of Rutledge, City of Bostwick, and the town of Buckhead must be completed by June 30th of 2027.
I will be talking a little bit about your upcoming comprehensive plan. And like Chuck noted, we will be kicking this off officially today. This is your project team for the comprehensive plan. Like Chuck mentioned, this is a joint plan. So it's Morgan County, City of Madison, and all of your jurisdictions. We'll be working with Chuck and Tara here at the county. Myself, I'm Allison Stewart Harris. I'm a principal at TSW and a planning nerd. And we'll also be working with your regional commission. So you might know Mark Beatty and Philip Jones. So they will be helping us out on the engagement front and also on your GIS mapping. Very briefly, what is a comprehensive plan? There's a lot of different types of plans out there, but your comprehensive plan, this is a 20-year outlook on growth and investment in the community. For land use and development, we know y'all are under a lot of development pressure. You've got a lot of hard decisions to make. So we are here to help the community work through those and create a path forward. So I want to share a little bit about how this project is structured. We will be looking at Morgan County as an interconnected whole. So we'll be producing an overarching plan for Morgan and all of the jurisdictions. We think that there are a lot of commonalities that y'all have. You have some common needs and challenges. We want to make sure that we're really looking at that from a holistic perspective. Got a lot of community participation lined up. For that tailored, like an unincorporated Morgan County, we're going to have an additional focus on agriculture and rural development. We're going to be looking at economic development, housing and infrastructure, community facilities, natural resources, and public safety. Here's our schedule. We informally kicked off the project a couple weeks ago with your staff. You can see phase 1 goes throughout the entire process. We will be managing and organizing the whole thing. We'll be working on our existing conditions through about April. We'll have a lot of opportunities for community participation between now and January of next year. We're really going to start developing those planning documents starting in April, and that adoption process is going to start around December.
So I saw you had March in there, but do we have specific dates?
I don't believe we have a specific date yet, but we will be nailing that down soon.
And so anybody from the public will be able to find that on our website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. And the more the merrier.
Yes,
so please reach out to all of your email listservs and everything. We really want to make sure we get as many folks there as possible.
All right. Next, we have the resolution for temporary, and I don't have the exact wording of it, but the resolution that Philip introduced to amend the agenda with the...
I think it's just a resolution for a temporary moratorium for all non-residential structures, commercial and industrial property. This came about from, obviously, as just was mentioned right there, we are under a lot of development pressure, and recently was the application of Dollar General coming out there. It kind of, I think it put a spotlight on some of the language that we have currently, which appears to be a little on the vague side right there, and to clean it up a little bit. and not let somebody come in there and sneak in under the old regulations. So we're gonna sit here and argue about this thing again.
Paragraphs.
Who wrote it?
I don't know.
I put it together last night about 9:30. Because I was
Thanks
asked,
for giving me a heads up on it.
yesterday evening, Commissioner Von Honstein approached me about placing a moratorium in place. So, right, but
Well, so shouldn't this be something that you would have proposed at our work session and not today? It does sound like this has been, you cobbled this together in a few hours and
here again, I was asked if I mean, we're currently working on regulations already, but like I said, Commissioner Von Honstein requested, asked yesterday afternoon late, if we could put a moratorium, and I said, you can present it and see.
The only concern I have is that we're seeing it right now, and none of us have had a chance to really look through the resolution. Attorney hasn't had a chance to review it, and before we put something out there, that kind of language, I would feel more comfortable with us having the time to view it. Understand where you're at, Philip, but I may not have a vote in it.
So one of the things that almost always happens when you adopt a moratorium is they are almost always adopted quickly. The idea is if you tell the world, hey, we're going to impose a moratorium, everybody and their brother comes in and files an application. And it is very common that soon after you adopt kind of the emergency resolution, you follow that up with, typically you follow that up with public hearings and public notice, and then you adopt a more permanent moratorium. And I'd recommend we do that.
I'm not comfortable. That's my personal opinion. I mean, if you want to put it on a work session and discuss it more or put more thought into it, I mean, you kind of cobble this thing together on the fly, and it's obviously got unintended consequences in it right now. And that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, it does have unintended consequences, but the consequences are for us to.
Well, 2 weeks ain't gonna hurt, Philip. You don't
Yeah.
need anything you don't put a moratorium on for 2 weeks.
We could clean it up over the next 2 weeks and vote on it at the work session, could we not?
Well, work session, we're not taking any votes. We have to then call a special call meeting after that to do it. But
You theoretically, I think, could vote on it in a work session if you wanted to, couldn't you?
In theory, you can, right? I think as I've understood your discussion about a work session, you want not to. My recommendation to you would be, don't do the thing you don't want to do at the very first work session, right?
Right.
So I think, to the chair's point, I think it would make sense if what you want to do is considered in 2 weeks, make it a discussion item on the work session and have a called meeting immediately after. I mean, you're gonna have to guess the time, right? If the work session starts at. It's gonna be a long work session. Yeah, I mean, I think, but can you? Yes, you can. I mean, it's certainly doable.
I mean, I think there's a lot of what ifs. I think it would be great to clean it up and get it done that way.
well, hopefully everybody's not leaving to go fill applications out.
Your application it's not something you're doing in a day, right? I mean, it's not an easy endeavor to file a proper application.
True, but once it's in the hopper, it's in the hopper. You
That's
can't go
true.
back. That's what happened right here was Donald Miller. And I think it was worse, the fight, because the building that initially that they presented was nothing but a cheap shoebox. And now we got a decent building out there. It still doesn't have a gable roof on it, but it doesn't match some of the other buildings next to it. But it's a much better looking building. But we had to sit here and fight over and over for this thing. And that's all I'm trying to do is try to avoid the next fight. And of course, they were completely right when they said we are within our rights to build this thing, And that's all I'm trying to do. All right. So I would make a motion to temporarily have a moratorium on this till the date of February 18th, 2026.
Okay, got a motion. Any second? Hearing none, motion fails with lack of a second. Next,
Bless
we've
you.
got Mark with a grant for a baler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you'll recall, we submitted a grant to the Georgia Environmental Protection Division to purchase a baler and to construct a building to house it in and to house in, or to temporarily store recyclables and to transport them. You'll recall a couple months ago, we came from the board because the EPD had asked if we'd be able to fund the project if they could only give us $250,000. And the board did agree to that. However, we were notified last week that we have been awarded the grant for a total project cost of $496,557. $471,557 would be funded by the grant, and we would have a $25,000 local match.
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented.
Okay, motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously, none opposed. Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. Anybody here in the public like to comment on any items on the agenda today?
Bostwick City Council meeting last night. They went over the comprehensive, Chuck and, what was her name? Allison. They went over the comprehensive plan with them last night, and there was like one of y'all said, there was people put a lot of stuff on Facebook, and a lot of it's, it assumes stuff, and some of it's not correct. And I think there was an assumption that meeting was going to be a give and take, meeting with input, and it wasn't, but there was a good little contingent there from the Bostwick area. But I think everybody's interested, so I think there will be some input when you put the committees together to look at it, so that'll be a good thing. And I think this is probably a really important comprehensive plan when you look at what's facing us down the road with growth pushing in from the Atlanta area and what we may be facing with whatever happens with the bills on the property taxes and stuff. It's probably going to really affect the comprehensive plan.